What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing here, back with another video, and in today's video, guys, we are here with the Knight of Prophecy Tristan and going over how to go about building his gear. We're going to be going over the best gear set for this character based on what his skills are capable of doing, so that we know exactly what's going to be the optimal setup when you're rocking him in Grand Cross. If you guys do enjoy videos like this, definitely make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as we are on the road to that 54,000 subscribers. I don't know if we actually reached it already by the time recording this video, but we've been very close, guys. Make sure to hit that sub button if you guys are enjoying the 6.5 anniversary content. And with that out of the way, man, let's hop in and let's go over the Tristan. So yeah, what I want to do first, guys, is kind of briefly discuss some of his like passive abilities, and then we'll talk some of his skills and how those work, and then I'll pretty much explain from there how I'm gonna evaluate a gear set for this character based on those things. So Tristan is a DPS oriented character. Now, one thing to take into account though is that he does provide a bunch of buffs for not only himself but for the allies as well. So obviously his first part of his passive is for every applicable ally preceding the battlefield, the basic stats increase by 5% and the stats of the hero increase by 5% as well. So you can see demons, goddess, and 4 knights. And then gains Dawn's Blessing at the start of the battle. Dawn's Blessing is going to be basic stats plus 20%. Applicable allies damage taken minus 50%, which is at the 4 to 6 tube level, so that obviously changes. And then applicable allies damage taken from skills during the enemy's turn does not exceed 70% of max HP. If Dawn's Blessing and Shadow's Dominion are active on the hero, Twilight Covenant is applied on the hero at the start of the ally's turn once. So Twilight Covenant is going to be all stats plus 20%, damage dealt, a fixed amount based on your dupes, and fixes damage taken from skills during the enemy's turn to 1. The effect is removed after taking damage. And then when dying, the hero revives with the same amount of HP they had before dying once. And then it's going to be pretty much a Goddess Liz revive, and then gains Twilight Covenant and resets the talent turn cooldown when using a skill to defeat an enemy. So you guys can see here from Tristan's passive, he has a little bit of support. He does have a lot of, kind of selfish damage boost for himself, which is good. And, the thing is with that is that he's going to be able to deal a ton of damage. Again, he also has the damage count for the team too. So he's a mixed bag, he has like a bunch of different things. And yeah, you guys can kind of definitely tell from that. Now, for his skills though, Twinkling Star inflicts Dawn damage equal to 200% of attack on one enemy. Dawn is going to be critical chance increase, additional damage equal to 30% of the hero's max HP for damage, and then damage dealt with skills 100% while Twilight Covenant is active. So you guys can see right here from Twinkling Star, they are recommending an increase of HP, so you do additional damage by 30%, which is, pretty good, right? Now his next skill here is going to be inflicting dust damage equal to 180% of attack on all enemies. Dust is going to be 5 times pierce rate increase, and then damage dealt 50% for each Dawn's Blessing and Shadow's Dominion on Tristan. So yeah, and then for the talent here, guys, this grants Shadow's Dominion, right? This is how you get Shadow's Dominion. And then yeah, you're getting attack rate stats 50%, and you ignore 80% of the target's critical defense if the hero skill results in critical damage, right? So yeah, in terms of just like based off his kit right there, guys, how do you go about building Tristan? I'm actually gonna recommend a HP defense set. Now the reason why I'm gonna go with a HP defense set, not only because of the fact that you get this additional damage equal to 30% of his max HP on his Dawn skill, but the fact that the way Tristan works is you pretty much want the character to tank the first turn, so you use the AoE on the first turn, right? Because you have your Dawn's Blessing and Shadow's Dominion, right? And then as you guys saw from his passive right here, if Dawn's Blessing and Shadow's Dominion are active on the hero, Twilight's Covenant is applied on the hero at the start of the ally's turn once. So the way that's going to work is on the following turn, you're going to get Twilight's Covenant because you're using the talent on the turn 1. You're not going to actually get it, even though you start with Dawn's Blessing and then you use the talent. It's applied at the start of the ally's turn, right? So when it comes back to your turn on the turn 2, in a sense, that's when you're going to be getting Twilight Covenant. And so that's when this skill right here is going to do absurd damage. And if you have higher HP as well, this single target is guaranteed to pretty much one-shot any character on that turn 2. So yeah, Tristan right there, because of that, guys, I think is really fine on an HP defense set. And the other plus with HP defense is that you get the most amount of combat class for HP defense. You can see here, if we actually look at the amount of combat class increase from an HP defense set, guys, we get 29k. Now, if I was to put on an attack crit set, now obviously this is not UR gear, but you can see here that it goes to about 20k. Let me go to a character that has, an attack crit set and an HP defense so you guys can see the difference. So if we go to like a Meliodas here, right, and we go to HP defense, you can see it's 29k. If I go to attack crit set, it's 24k. So you lose about 5,000 combat class, which is a fairly big portion of combat class you're losing out on. So with that being said, guys, I think actually, yeah, HP defense is going to be a very solid gear set for a character like Tristan because of the fact that you're going to have, you know, a bunch of tanking on the turn 1, which is really good. You know, he is a character that, you know, kind of ramps up in a sense where like the turn 2, that's when he does crazy damage. So yeah, in my opinion, you definitely want to hold off and run an HP defense set so that you have your turn 1 to tank, and then you get the increased damage dealt on you know, your max HP, right? So that's obviously going to be very nice. Now another set you could run as well would be attack crit damage, but that would be mostly for PvE content in my opinion. You know, at the end of the day, guys, even though you know, Tristan has that, you know, like max HP increase, right? So additional damage equal to 30% of the hero's max HP. That's not going to be as important as just boosting your overall attack scaling, right? You can see your Twinkling Star and also his other skill are still attack scaling skills. So at the end of the day, it is being boosted by attack, but the additional effect is the 30% from the hero's max HP. And this is also going to happen regardless if you're running an attack crit set or HP defense. It's just with, you know, attack crit damage, you have a little bit less HP, so you're getting a little bit less additional damage dealt. So yeah, if you're running PvE content, so if you're doing like Ratatosker, if you're doing like Nidhogg, you know, any like, you know, PvE related demonic beast battle, things like that, even like the new dragon raid boss, if you're doing anything like that, guys, attack crit damage is actually gonna be fine. You know what I mean? Because you'd be able to deal technically more damage on these skills just because of the fact that, you know, you're at the end of the day, you are still attack scaling. You're not actually HP scaling for your damage. So yeah, I would say if you're looking for PvE content and you don't care about PvP, guys, attack crit damage on a Tristan is actually going to be very, very good. But at the end of the day, I do think the overall best gear set will be HP defense because this works for both PvP and PvE in the sense that you're going to be able to be really tanky the turn 1. Turn 2, when you have, you know, all your buffs from Shadow's Dominion and then Dawn's Blessing and converts it into Twilight Covenant, I mean, you're getting that all stats and then the crazy damage dealt, you're going to be dealing an absurd amount of damage, right? So I do think that, you know, if you are rocking an HP defense set, it is going to be the overall best gear set. Now that we've talked about the actual set itself, guys, let's go over the rolls on the gear and how you want to go about it. So if we actually look at the rolls in the gear here, you want to go with attack on the top 2 pieces, so on the bracelet and on the ring, because you're getting the most amount of combat class while also increasing your overall attack scaling, right? Now moving on to his second piece here, this is going to be the necklace. You want to go with defense percent. Defense percent is in my opinion the best middle stat at the end of the day because it does give you the most combat class, but you can also, you know, technically just like, you know, re-roll some of the gear here to get, you know, min rolls of like a certain stat. It's up to you though, right? Like if you go with like, let's say you are re-rolling for defense and you don't have like too many anvils though, and then some of your rolls are like, you know, critical resistance, critical defense, things like that. It's not as important on these middle pieces to have perfect 15% stats, guys. I would say just go with what you can, get min roll defenses, and that's still going to be solid. And yeah, the ones you would want to prioritize the most though would be obviously his bracelet and his ring because attack is his damage scaling, and then HP is going to help for his boosted single target damage. But yeah, I mean, these are going to be the most important to actually max out first, then you do your middle pieces. And also make sure you make your gear in this manner too, where you have the 4 set on the top and the bottom, and then the middle set is going to be in the middle, so that if you're doing something like Heroes Arena, you can actually swap out the middle pieces to get a little bit of a boost, whether it's critical defense or if you're rocking like attack, defense, or whatever the case, right? So yeah, that's going to be that right there. But again, on the bottom pieces now, you're rocking HP percent. HP percent again is boosting his single target damage while also increasing his overall survivability. So all these things together is going to be very good. And then yeah, you can see the same thing with the rune, another HP scaling thing, so you definitely want to go with that. So yeah, guys, that is going to be the gear set and how you want to go about building. Make sure that you guys do build this type of gear set for Tristan, as he's going to be doing really good in the overall, you know, grand scheme of things on the game. And yeah, I'm honestly like really happy about the way they built this character. He's really nice. You know, you have that like turn 1 where you can rip the AoE, it still does a crazy amount of damage because you have both, you know, Dawn's Blessing and Shadow's Dominion. And then on the turn 2, you go really crazy with the single target, and that's how you're able to get off, you know, absurd like millions of damage on like rank 1 of these, right? So yeah, that is pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what kind of gear you guys built for this character if you have already. And yeah, that is going to be it. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one, man. Peace out. Have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.